Fixed. Goodness, ain't that a great start? Oh, geez, you can tell it's been, what, 2 months? Anyway. I suppose that was a slight explanation. Now I'll explain while we play. Oh, Nubby's ASMR. So, some of you may have been following on interesting game. Yeah, it's pachinko. It's a fun game. There's a little while I was a little low-key obsessed with it. Hence how far I've progressed. But yeah, some of you who have followed on Twitter probably heard me talking about it before. Last few months, for various reasons and due to various factors, there's been a lot of physical sickness and some mental too. Wait, I think I remember this from my childhood. No, you don't. This is a new game. Came out in the last year, but it does take on a lot of its aesthetics from like early 2000s PC games. That's true. That is true. But yeah, there's been a lot of physical sickness and mental stuff too. So it's kind of it's been a bit of a double whammy, to be totally honest. I'm not going to get into too much detail, especially because realistically, you know, there are people who have much more difficult situations than I do. But my living situation, just to put it bluntly, is not good for me. A lot of it is just psychological. Some of it just stressful. I'm not going to make excuses, but that is the truth. And so that, on top of the physical illness, it took me out. It took me out. But just like to give some perspective, I'm a writer. I've been very open about that. I was advertising one of my D&D books not that long ago. And so for 4 years, a little over 4 years, almost 5 years, I dedicated time to reading and writing every single day. I did that when I was in the college dorms, I did that when I was in the college apartments, I did that when I was living in my own apartment, and I even did it when I was living with my grandparents. For some reason, so I did that for almost 5 years straight, and then for over 2 years, I prayed 3 rosaries every day, I went to mass every single day, and then within 6 months of being where I am, all those habits dissolved. Just dissolved, and I lost all of them. Some of it related to the physical sickness, that taking me out, and then some mental stuff too. And it really is, a lot of it's just location. A lot of it's just location, because if I spend more than like 48 hours anywhere else, it all comes back, you know? The habits don't come back, which is kind of part of the problem. It takes time to build habits. That's one of the reasons why, to be totally honest, why streaming has been difficult lately, because I was in the habit of streaming, and then with this physical sickness taking me out, and so traveling on top of that, I lost the habit. And then between the mental stuff and the physical stuff, it was difficult to get that habit back. Peace and blessings. Thanks, Ace. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Obviously, I'm feeling a bit better now. Hence, here I am. And I have been working on other things too. I talked about the D&D book. It's finished, basically. I finished another book, which I'm really proud of, but probably not going to get published for a while because I need to work on the art for it. And I also, if you followed me on Twitter, you saw that I published another book, actually, a collection of short stories that's on Amazon. So that's been published, and that was a nightmare at times. But it's done. I'm proud of it. It's been a minute. Yeah, it has been a minute. I've been off the grid. I've been utterly off the grid. But hopefully, the worst of the physical sickness has passed, and I'm going to try and make. I also I got a vacation, which helped. Gave me the sort of mental reset that I needed. Praise the Lord. And so hopefully we can build up. You got lots of books out. Yeah. Oh, you have no idea. Yeah, that's. I guess technically it's my second book that I've published. And of course, I was just saying earlier, that's a third one that's written but not published because I need to work on the art. And then there's actually, so technically, I've published 2, but I've written between 4 and 6, depending on how you count it. And that's, of course, not including all the things I've written that aren't books. Like other things I've been working on, I just wrapped up working on a movie script that I was partnering with one of my close friends on. And so I've been I've been doing stuff, just not as much stuff as I would have liked to have been doing. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. We're gonna try and make a more concerted effort. Vacation is nice, even when sick, nice to get out of the same cycle. Exactly. Exactly. Because it's something I realized. I am a creature of habit, that's true. But I realized I've basically been doing the exact same thing every single day for about a year. Which is, to a certain degree, it's fine, because it's things that I enjoy. But between my life situations, and then there's the repetitiveness of it. I realized I was starting to lose interest in the things that I liked doing. It's kind of like, you know, passion project. It's fun to work on your passion projects, but if your passion projects are the only thing that you're working on, at a certain point, your passion projects just become work, and you're not so passionate about it anymore, which is not a fun feeling. It's not a fun feeling. It's not a fun feeling. So when you, like, I haven't been streaming, like, believe me, there are things that I enjoy much more than streaming that I also have not been doing. So it's not been great. And we'll see. Hopefully, I write to you, I love storytelling. I could never finish any of my stories, though. Yeah, that's the thing. I one of my quirks is that I can't leave things unfinished. I hate leaving things unfinished. I can't do it. Also, another quote that I love. I do have a sample comic. That's cool. That's cool. But something that you may or may not have heard of, writer, author, podcaster Andrew Klavan. He's someone I look up to a lot personally. He said, you know, there are more professional baseball players in the world than there are professional writers. It's a very difficult profession, and you don't do it because you want to, you do it because you have to. It's not because you want to, it's because you have to, and I can vouch for that. I think I may have told this story on stream before. There was a summer I was working as a dishwasher for a dinner restaurant. And it was a fine job. I liked it decent enough. It was a good summer job. But it was in the evening, and I am very much a night owl. You'll notice I'm EST. I stream in the afternoons. The afternoons are when I do a lot of my work. And the evenings are typically reserved for my personal projects. Because that's when I'm most awake and most motivated to do it most of the time. I do have too many hobbies, plus ADHD, I'm all over the place. Yeah. But, so working at the dinner restaurant, that was when I was working at the restaurant when I would normally be writing, and I got hardly anything done, because by the time I was actually awake and ready to start the day, I was going to work. And of course, you come back, sometimes I wouldn't come back until 1 in the morning, because I worked close. And I got so depressed. You know, it's like, yeah, I have to write. It's just who I am, really. And so that's what I mean. It's like when you get to the point that you're not even doing that, the thing that you're most passionate about, it's not great. It's not great, and we'll see when it changes. Since a lot of it has to do with just my living situation, my life situation. It's in a bit of a rough spot. Ace, you probably haven't heard about this. I know some other people have heard about this. To put it bluntly, to put it as simply as I can, in the last year, I've developed a condition that causes me to have allergic reactions to things that should not ordinarily cause allergic reactions. Primarily including things like perfumes, fragrances, stuff like that. And that's been responsible for a lot of the physical sickness that's taken me out. That's taken me out these last few months. And so it's gotten to the point kind of where basically if I go I really do hate this. If I spend more than a few hours at basically anywhere that isn't my house, with the exception of like restaurants, places of business, hotel rooms, I end up having an allergic reaction, which is not only rough in the moment, but also has lasting consequences like congestion. Sometimes congestion so bad I actually can't breathe. And because I have sensitive skin, and a lot of people in my family have sensitive skin, so everything in my house and everything that is at my family's houses is hypoallergenic. You're also very interested in film production. That's my main profession career. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I might message you about that later. That's really cool. I almost interned with a film crew, but ended up falling through at the last minute, which was a shame. But so things like hotel rooms, restaurants, Airbnbs are usually fine, because a lot of those places use hypoallergenic stuff because, you know, they don't want to get sued, and if people go to their places and get sick, they'll get bad reviews. But it's not universal. Last time I stayed in Airbnb most recently, I had an awful reaction. It was really bad. But so there's that. So that's kind of keeping me from leaving the situation I'm in, even though I don't like the situation I'm in. It's also rough because I'm looking to move. It's kind of a catch-22 where, because I can't stay with other people, because anyone's house other than my own is like a toxic zone. But I can't get my own place until I have a job, and I can't have a job until I have my own place, since I'm looking to move. Because I could get a job where I am, but that wouldn't solve the problem. So yeah, it's a bit rough. And it's not so much that it's a huge issue as much as it's that there's not a clear way out. Problems without clear solutions. But hopefully that'll be sorting itself out soon. It's certainly been working on it, and I haven't stopped working on fixing that problem. Let's just start. Go back to work. Yeah, no, it's cool. I've got friends who are actors, or theater people, I guess, but who have connections in the film world. Those connections have not borne fruit, but it's definitely an avenue I'd be interested in. Especially since, I was just saying earlier, the script I was working on is done. It's done, and so we're having some people proofread it for us. But after that, it's just going to be pitching, which is exciting and terrifying. Because there's nothing more terrifying as a writer than having someone actually read what you wrote, much less pay money for it. Goodness. Jeez, what a life. I remember I was talking about Andrew Clavin earlier. One of his quotes that I like is he says, "Being a writer is like showing your bare bottom to the world," and it's very true. It's terrifying and embarrassing, but you know, gotta do it. Especially, and I would even go so far as to say you have a duty to it in a certain respect. Someone else reading your stuff is scary. Yeah. Oh yeah, don't I know it? Like I kept, like, the stuff that I was writing, I kept it to myself for years. And I didn't ever share it until I actually sold some copies. Like, to my family, because having people you know read what you write is so much more terrifying than having someone you don't know read it. Because if someone you don't know reads it and they don't like it, you'll never see that person again. It's not a big deal. But if someone you know reads it and they don't like it, they're gonna... they're not gonna forget that. Oh, and especially since, like, if you have the sort of people in your life who, for the sake of your own feelings, aren't actually going to give you honest criticism, that's the worst. It's worse than actually getting criticism. It's worse than actually getting criticism. Because I have, I was saying earlier, I do D&D stuff, and so I've published a book, but I've also published a few subclasses, and I've even more. I have like 20 at this point that are written and just about ready to be published, but aren't. But one of the ones that is published, it has a rating of like 3.5 stars, which isn't a big deal. Like, whatever, you like it, you don't like it, that's fine. But what upsets me is not the ratings, it's the fact that there's no explanation. So like one guy leaves a 4-star, one guy leaves a 3-star, like, okay, that's fine. You know, you don't have to like it, maybe it's not for you. But could you tell me what's wrong with it? What is it about it that can be fixed? Like, what's the actual problem here? That's the worst. I feel like that's the nightmare scenario, is someone you know reads it and they don't like it, but they won't tell you what they don't like about it. And so then you don't know what to address about it. Because sometimes, you know, people can like or dislike things for totally arbitrary reasons. And so, like, yeah, I didn't like it, but it's not that it was poorly written, it just wasn't for me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's nothing I can do or say about that. That's not a big deal. But if there's an actual tangible problem, like the first book I ever wrote, which will never see the light of day, for a few reasons. Like that book has problems, and some of the problems I realized while I was writing it, which is one of the reasons I'm really glad I worked on it, because it was such a great crash course in what to do and what not to do. Like, I was maybe a third of the way through the story when I realized that my main antagonist was never given any time to show off. And so I was able to fix that problem in the drafts. But there's also a more glaring issue, which is that the second act is way too slow. It's way too slow. All the character development is in the second act, which is great, but it's way too slow. It needed to be spread out more. Or there's a time when I reached a point in the story where there's going to be a development, but when I reached it, I realized that the characters had not developed to the point that they were ready for it, and I had to rearrange the story. I'm still really happy with the end result. Well, that's all to say, you know, there can be legitimate problems with the story that if you're aware of them, you can actually change them. Other times it's too late. Like if I were to rewrite that book from the beginning, there are definitely, I don't think there are any scenes I would remove, but there are scenes I would add or change to give some characters more of a chance to show off or develop. Anyway, that's a rant and a half. That's a rant and a half. So that's where I've been, and I can give a heads up because all the stuff I was just talking about before, there are life developments happening on my end, and so the next few months are going to be a little, they're going to be a little off, not much more than usual. Like, I know there are going to be 2 weeks in July that I'm just going to be straight up not available. And then they're going to be, I'm probably going to miss a few streams in June and in August. For various reasons. Various responsibilities, things that I have to attend to. Go. But now we can... So let's talk about what's gonna be happening. I was initially planning on streaming Crusader Kings today, but that series is probably going to be retired for a little bit. It'll come back eventually, I'm sure. I enjoyed it well enough. I enjoyed it well enough, but I felt like it was time. One of the things I've said it before, one of the reasons we do variety, even though variety isn't necessarily great for channel health, is because the way that I am, I can't play one game for too long. There are very few exceptions to that rule. And if I'm not having fun as the player, you're not going to have fun as the viewer. That's how it works. If I'm not entertained, you're not going to be entertained. Any streams on 4th of July? Probably not. Probably not. We usually visit family for 4th of July. Yeah, that's unlikely. But actually it's going to be later that month. So I guess, oh geez, it's going to be 3 weeks in July, isn't it then? This is 1 week with family, and then there's going to be 2 weeks. 2 weeks off in late July. So yeah, July is going to be a bit of a graveyard, I think. I'll stream when I can, but it's probably going to be infrequent. And I have no idea. For a year, like a full year, we had pretty consistent daily clips. I don't know when that's going to come back around. I don't know when that's coming back. Oh, jeez. I don't want to think about that. I don't even want to think about that. What was I saying? Oof, no IRL fireworks stream. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Especially since we usually go to my grandparents and they have no internet. It's not happening. Unless for some reason that's not happening, but I see no reason why it would be canceled. Especially since, yeah, my family. It's been a while since I've seen some of my family members, just because. Not for any reason, but just because they live far away. So yeah, that's probably out the window. And the other reason is I was retiring Crusader Kings. Well, Ace, I don't know if you saw it, because I know I posted about it on Twitter, but that was like a month ago, 2 months ago. I'm going to be doing a re-debut in the near future. And there are a few reasons for that. You need to farm more clips. Exactly. He gets it. We need clips. We need YouTube shorts. We need to turn on the clip factory, churn out those clips, mass produce them. And the clips are not going to be mass produced unless I can make jokes and be funny. But yeah, I was thinking of retiring that anyway, so it was on death row. But I think I'm going to try and do it. The plan is I'm going to do it next Thursday. We're going to re-debut. Do a little bit of a rebrand, change things up a little. So, I suppose a little bit of background is necessary. I've been a little bit surprised because well, Ace, you know this, I've only really stepped into the broader Christian VTuber community, what, 5 months ago? Something like that? It's been pretty recent. Basically, a year and a half ago, I just started streaming because some people said that they thought I might be good at it. And yeah, built it from there, and it's kind of surprised me how many people in the community, as it were, they started off because they were already connected to other people, already prominent members of their chat, and so they start streaming and they start off and they just get affiliate within a week because they already have so many people that they know. And who are like helping them launch. And then for me, I just started screaming into the void one day, and somehow it kind of worked out. It just kind of worked out. Oh, but because of that, there are a few things about where I am that's a little, what's the word? Incongruous. It's a little nonsensical. It doesn't flow. It doesn't flow. As some of you may or may not know, I know Music Freak knows. Initially, when we first started, it was November 23. Yeah, November 23. I was streaming, and then at the same time, I was also podcasting. And the streaming part of it, the Twitch part of it, was built as an extension of the podcast. So the podcast was C3 TV, Christian Conservative Commentary, and the Twitch channel was just supposed to be an extension of that. Yeah, that's how it goes when you eventually connect with others. Yeah, and certainly a lot of the growth that I've experienced these last few months, growth that finally got me to affiliate, is because of that connection. And obviously, I don't need to tell you, there are a lot of cool people in the community. It's been fun. It's been fun. There are a lot of people that I'm very glad to have met, and who I would love to to meet up with more, but just hasn't happened for various reasons. Like, you know, the Discord, I keep tabs on that collab board. I do. I really do. But a lot of it's just games I don't have or don't play or don't like. That's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So it was built on an extension of the podcast, but you flash forward a year later, and Twitch is doing very well. A year after I started, I'm almost at affiliate, built up from nothing, totally organically, and I'm almost there, and the podcast is reaching no one. Yes, Ace Taku is cool, I agree. I'm glad you agree, Ace Taku. So, flash forward a year later, Twitch is doing very well. Twitch is yielding dividends, it's making progress, and it seems like there could actually be something successful there. But the podcast is not. The podcast is reaching nobody. And it's a little funny, because, funnily enough, if I could have chosen one or the other to succeed, I probably would have chosen the podcast, so who knows, it might come back at some point, but for now, it's on indefinite hiatus. It's off in the corner somewhere. So it may be a part of my future, but it's not a part of my present or my immediate plans. Because in order for that to work out, some other things would need to come into play. But the podcast, if you pick up what I'm putting down, the podcast was C3TV. The podcast was Christian conservative commentary. And since the Twitch was an extension of that, the Twitch was also C3TV. Ace Taku will pray for you too. Thank you. I always need them. The Twitch was also C3TV, because the idea was it was a shared brand. But of course, the podcast, which was C3TV, didn't take off, but the Twitch did. And so, one of the things I realized, like, King Luce vibes, yeah. One of the things I realized, especially as I started interacting with the broader community, I've never been very shy about my name. I could just say my name is Wes. Like, I've not been shy about that. I was very open about that on the podcast. Like, the podcast was me and Wyatt, and we referred to each other by our first names all the time. But because the Twitch took off and the podcast didn't, people don't know that. They just come in, and all they see is C3TV Crusader. And so people are like, well, what do we call you? And I don't really have an answer to that, because it's not a question I really asked. It's not a question I ever really asked myself. So rebrand name, yes, that's a big thing. That's the big one. That's the big one. Like, first of all, there are already a lot of Crusaders, but also the first time, I have to be honest, to put it in modern terms, the first time people started calling me Crusader, it kind of gave me it kind of made me cringe. Not because I just didn't like it. It just wasn't me. But it was something it's not anyone's fault. I'm not upset with anyone, but I realized I put it on myself. I caused the problem, and I needed to fix it. But there are other things too, the name being one of them, that I was kind of putting off until I got affiliate. And now because my affiliate was for me. How do I put this? Affiliate was kind of... It was how I proved to myself that I could succeed. I built up the channel from nothing. I just started streaming one day and to see if I could find success. And now I'm Twitch affiliate, which in my mind is success. It's not, you know, game breaking. A lot of people do it. You know, I still don't have a huge audience. I'm making $1 for every stream. But so any name ideas? Yes, I think I've already settled on a name. I had the idea. I've run it by some people and they liked it too. I'm gonna keep it to myself. It's gonna be next week. I can't spoil all the surprises. But that has been one of the things I've been working on while I haven't been streaming, is getting some stuff ready, getting some streamer tools ready. And, oh, here, ads are running. I wish I could... I have the snooze ads button, but it's not working. I'll spoil your name. No, you cannot make me. No, but it's a full rebrand. I'm gonna hold on to C3TV a little bit because I like it, and I like it as a brand name. But it was one of the things I realized, not just the whole I don't really like being called Crusader deal, because it wasn't something that occurred to me. It wasn't a problem until I started interacting with other people. Which is fairly recent. But it's also that I feel like, and I could be wrong about this, to be honest, I could be wrong, but I feel like the name's holding me back a little. Because I feel like it's not a name that people connect with. I think that's one of the strengths of VTubing broadly, is having that proper name. I think it helps people connect with you more. I think it makes it more personal. And so having such I think the best word for it is a sterile name. A name that really does sound like a brand rather than a person. I think that's kind of been holding me back. And I'm hoping that changing that will kind of remove the shackles, so to speak. Because it's like I said a minute ago, I'm aware of myself to know that on some level there are ways in that I've been handicapping myself. It's not to say that removing those handicaps will, you know, magically make me successful, but no, who knows? Wow, G2A ad Twitch really is dying. Yeah. I don't know if I could have turned them off for this stream specifically, but oh well. But yeah, I think the sort of brandy name was kind of handicapping me a little bit. And there are other things too, things that I was always aware that I could be doing, but I didn't do. Just because it's a weird thing for me, and I admit it's not logical. I admit it's not logical, but I didn't want my... I wanted to prove that I could do it. And so part of that meant I didn't want to, in any, like, play the system, so to speak. I didn't want to do things just because it would help the algorithm. Now that I'm here, I'll be more open to that, because I wanted to prove that I could do it. Sort of just a psychological thing, I guess. But yeah. Look forward to the next chapter, Mr. 006. Thank you. I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping it'll be very good. So hopefully next Thursday. Back from the break, but I have to be away from the keyboard. That's cool. Yeah, so hopefully... What was I about to say? Yeah, I think it'll be good. And so the re-debut, the official re-debut, I'm hoping to do next Thursday. I'm hoping to do next Thursday at the usual stream time, so 2 p.m. EST. It could be like James Bond, but 00C instead. The name's C3. Oh, another thing that's really funny. This is such a weird pull, but it has actually happened more than once. It happened when I went to a Chinese restaurant. It's also happened just on social media that I've seen CCTV, as in the Chinese television network, and it like dyslexically read it as my own name, which is really funny to me. That would be a great line. I'm glad you think so. Not the CCV. Yeah. So maybe we need to retire, you know, C3 before I get some tariffs put on the channel. So yes. So hopefully, re-debut. Rebrand, new everything, new stuff for subs and things, and just it's not going to be we're still going to build off the same foundation, so it's not going to be anything totally different. Like I'm not gonna show up and you just see like some anime cat girl, but it'll definitely will change the name and then start slowly transitioning the social medias, because we don't want to change anything too quickly, because I don't want people being like, who's this random person in my subscriber feed or my Twitch follows. I don't remember subscribing to this person. I'm gonna unfollow. I was hoping for the cat girl. I'm sure you were. Despicable. Anyway. So it'll some of the things will be gradual. But yeah, we're gonna be, there's gonna be some changes around here. Some of it will be gradual, some of it will be sudden. Probably make thumbnails look a little different. And we're also going to be playing as a result of this. I was seeding this out earlier. I kept getting distracted. It's one of the reasons why I'm just gonna cut the Crusader King series where it is. So name, channel name, new model. There's an idea. Wait, you mean I might be more than just a head and a hand? I guess you'll just have to tune in to find out. That's a yes, by the way. In case it wasn't obvious. In case that wasn't obvious. So yeah, we're gonna put a cut on the Crusader Kings for a while. The metaphor is gonna continue, at least. You might be 2 hands and a head. Oh, now that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. That's absolutely nutso. 2 hands? That's ridiculous. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get greedy. So we'll do that. And I know Music Freak's gone, but I have plans, and I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing them now, because there's not going to be. Right, 2 hands is a bit much. Oh yeah, don't even get me started. I suppose I can share it now, because there's not. I don't know how many people are going to see this. There's two folks in chat right now. I don't know how many views it will get on YouTube. Probably not very much. Especially since I get off topic so much. Even if I wanted to edit it down to like the important announcements, it'd probably be very difficult. Anyway. Probably bring back RimWorld. You may not know this, Ace. RimWorld was the game I've been streaming since I first started. It's the most streamed thing we've done on the channel. It's probably, I guess I'd say, my second favorite game, period. And so, easy game to ease back into. Easy game to ease back into for me. Especially as we rebrand. Thursday streams after the debut, so probably not. I suppose I could, but I probably won't stream that day. But I think what I'm going to do, and if I don't start immediately, it's going to be done in the future, because I'm going to do it, is I was able to get Lego Star Wars: The Complete Collection for free on my computer. And so I'm thinking I'm going to satisfy the dreams and ambitions of little me by going back and 100%ing it. Just doing everything there was to do in that game. Fun fact about that game, I loved it as a kid. One of the things that happened is that I got to, like, I think it was the second to last level. Keep in mind, I'm like 8 years old at this point. I got to like the second to last level, and I got soft locked. The game bugged, and I was unable to progress. The game bugged, and I was unable to progress. And I didn't touch the game after that for years. Because I thought it was some puzzle that I just couldn't figure out. I was so frustrated, like, how do I solve this puzzle? But there was no puzzle, I was soft-locked. Oh, jeez, and we might do it at some point for, like, some of the other LEGO games. But I need to find my Wii. Preferably. Because I have a lot of the old LEGO games, but I think my Wii might be in my sister's storage unit, ironically. So yes, anyway. Did you see the One Piece LEGO sets? Yes, I did. They look pretty cool. They look pretty cool. I have to admit, I'm not much of a LEGO man myself. I loved the games as a kid, but I never really got into building LEGO myself. I do have some figures. So I'm probably, it's cool. I'm probably more inclined towards the actual, like, figures than I am LEGO sets. Although I do admit I'm not much of a Fortnite guy, but the most recent season had General Grievous and a few other things that I really wanted, so I actually did get the Battle Pass. And from what I've heard, there at some point this year, probably soon, there's going to be One Piece content added to Fortnite, and I'm definitely going to pick that up. And if there's a One Piece battle pass, like I'm probably gonna stream it. I'm probably gonna stream it. I got Darth Jar Jar. I also got Darth Jar Jar. I also got Darth Jar Jar. That was my two goals, was Grievous and Darth Jar Jar. And I ended up completing the battle pass in the process too, so that worked out. Yeah, so if there's a One Piece battle pass, I'll probably stream Fortnite. God knows when that'll happen. I also don't know if it's going to be a battle pass or if it's just going to be stuff in the shop. So those are two things. And then we're going to continue Metaphor Refantasio. Because we're not done with it yet, and I'm still having fun. So that's probably going to be the stream schedule for the foreseeable future, is we're going to go back to RimWorld. I'm going to try I need to think, because I've had, unfortunately I've just been thinking about other things. I've had a few ideas for stuff to do in RimWorld, so I just need to choose one. Fortnite is cool, but I might have to start streaming it on my Xbox because PC experience is awful. Yeah, I've had good luck with PC. I've had good luck with PC, but I would be curious, because I know I can't play the game and stream it at the same time. Yeah, I may run into that problem too. Because I can get the game to run fine enough. The issue, typically it needs like, it takes like maybe 10-20 minutes before it runs correctly. Because up to that point it's still like loading textures. After that it's usually fine. After 10 to 20 minutes of playing, usually all the lag clears out and I can play it just fine. But those first few minutes are rough. Those first few minutes are rough. So I may also need to stream on Xbox instead instead of PC. We will see. We will see. A new PC, like a proper PC, is definitely on my list, but God only knows when I'll actually get one. A new one. So that One Piece Fortnite will be in the, what's the word? It'll be in the corner. It's pinned. We'll get to it when it comes around, but I don't know when it will. And those streams will probably be off schedule anyway. I'm down joining whenever you've been to Fortnite. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. No, I think that'd be lots of fun. Because when it happens, I was probably going to try and collab with people anyway. Get a PC and get a Stream Deck. Yeah, both of those are on my list. Stream Deck is on my list. PC is on my list. Because I need one. My computer, my gaming laptop, has served me very well, but it's starting to get old. Its performance is getting worse, not better, and it wasn't great to begin with. So, Stream Deck is loved. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I've heard good things about it. Stream Deck is life. Oh, that's going a bit far there, buddy. So yeah, that's on my list, but God only knows when the stars will align. If I'm lucky, I might get it as like a birthday present, but I don't see that happening. It's muy expensivo. It's a lot to ask. Go. But it's on my list, and I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it. Because I remember... Ace, you may have been privy to this. I was so excited for the new Monster Hunter game, and then I just couldn't play it. It was awful. I had it pre-ordered and everything. And there have been other games too that I just haven't been able to play. Not a lot, but unfortunately, you've probably run into this yourself, Ace. A lot of indie games are awful in that they're not streamlined and they're not packaged efficiently. So the easy example is like, this is true of Metaphor too, but even going beyond Metaphor, but let's include Metaphor. Metaphor and Persona 3 Reload are the most beautiful games I've ever played. They are gorgeous, and they are more high definition than anything I've ever played. When I booted up Persona 3 Reload on my computer for the first time, I didn't know there could be that many pixels in a screen. It was incredible. Someone was asking about the Stream Deck yesterday, and I sent him the Thanos GIF of him saying everything. Yeah, no, I've heard great things. It's on my list, but that probably needs to happen at the same time as a PC. I have a USB dock, and even with the USB dock, all my USB slots are filled. So I need a new setup. I just need a new setup. Full stop. But those games are beautiful. I played God of War on this PC and it ran like butter. Those high definition games are usually fine, but a lot of indie games, even though they don't have a lot of, they're not optimized. So even though theoretically they're less impressive graphically and procedurally than a lot of the bigger games, they're just not optimized. And so they end up sucking more processing power than they need to. And they end up being unplayable. It's always frustrating. It happened with Power World, it happened with, I don't even remember the name of the game now. There was another game I tried to stream and it didn't work. I don't know why Monster Hunter Wilds is so bad on PC, it doesn't make sense. Sega did a great job running Persona games, even on my Steam Deck. No, not Stream Deck. I know, it's very confusing. Yeah, I know, they infamously bad. And I think it's because it was the first time they really didn't put the effort into optimizing the game. Because that's the thing. Like, there are more impressive games that run better because they were efficiently optimized so that it wouldn't suck all your processing power. But I feel a lot of indie developers don't do that, or they don't know how to do it. I blame ray tracing for this. Fair. Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. It's like when you turn on shaders in Minecraft and your computer catches on fire. No, that's 100 right there. And so the result is that even I'm glad the new Elden Ring runs great. But see, then there right there is a great example. It has almost nothing to do with the graphical fidelity of the game, how good the graphics are, or even how many NPCs or how much it's trying to run at once. It's just about how it's packaged. And unfortunately, it feels like PC bro culture, where everyone's always trying to get the newest PC Gamer Elite, whatever else. It feels like it's created a culture where developers don't feel like they have to optimize their games because such a strong plurality of PC gamers have the big PCs that can do that. And so it feels like they're just not putting in the effort anymore. It's kind of like how, you know, all the games these days are like 200 gigabytes. And it's not because they have more content or that content is larger or more impressive. It's just not being packaged optimally. It's kind of becoming a lost art, which is really a shame. And who knows? Maybe people will get wise about it. I'm not crossing my fingers. I'm not crossing my fingers. Yeah, and I've got a few going back to the broader subject of discussion. I have a few other games that are on my list for things that I want to play in the future, things that I have coming up, especially after we finish Metaphor. Because I love playing story-heavy games, but I also know that people don't necessarily love watching story-heavy games a lot of the time. So I try not to do more than one of those at a time. But I've got a few in the line. Expedition 33 is on my list for games I want to play. At some point, I want to play a Souls-like. I've really only ever played one Souls-like. I don't remember the name of it now. I didn't beat it. But ironically, it wasn't even because of a boss. It was because the graces, whatever they were called in that game, were just... It was in the last level, or the second to last level. It was too far apart, and it was very punishing. And then, you know, at a certain point you realize, like, oh, I've lost my ability to play this game, so there's no point going back. But I'd like to play a Souls-like at some point. I'm a big PC enthusiast by this point in my life, but it doesn't mean these devs should start slacking while making us pay more. Exactly. You said it, man. You said it. You said it. It feels like the current gaming industry is filled with an attitude of complacency. I think is probably the best way to describe it. And you kind of expect that from AAA devs. AAA devs are notoriously pretty bad about stuff like that. You know, cutting costs, not giving the fans what they want or what they ask for. But even indie devs, it feels like are taking it for granted. I could be wrong about that. Because I think it feels like there's been a shift where a lot of the games more recently, stuff like Ina's Dream Barbecue, which I did play off stream, I had a lot of fun, Nubby's Number Factory, it feels like there's a push in the modern gaming sphere for games that are very low res. Even Repo is an example of this. Repo is a very small game in terms of its file size. And some of it is nostalgia bait, sure, but it also feels like there's an increasing focus on accessibility and a decreasing focus on graphical fidelity, which is good for the industry. Getting more focused on making games fun rather than making them look good. And the games that do the opposite, the games that arguably, like, this has been a criticism of GTA 6, even though it hasn't come out yet, games that focus more on graphics and less on gameplay are going to fall behind in the current sphere. Which I think is a good thing. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt in a lot of ways for a lot of different people, but I think it's good in the long run. So, a few games lined up, but I'm always looking for more, and some of it is just finding a spot to slide it in. Expedition 33 is a huge buy some AAA gaming. It makes great game even with large teams and marketing. Exactly, yeah. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm always looking for a great RPG. Always looking for a great RPG. I've heard good things, and I really look forward to playing it. Of course, whenever Persona 6 comes out, God only knows when, we'll be playing that. That's like a launch day thing, and as I was saying before with Metaphor and Persona 3 Reload, they've done great. They've been absolutely fantastic about optimizing their games, so even if I don't have a PC, I should be able to play it, ideally. Because God bless Atlas in that regard. Persona 6 Nonni? Yeah, it's been announced for a while. It's just the release date keeps getting pushed back, and we don't have any information on it that's not from leaks. Because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, oh, was it it was either, I don't remember if it was fall of 25 or fall of 26 it was supposed to be released, but we don't even have a trailer, so we'll see. It could be that it doesn't release for another 2 or 3 years. It depends. You know how these things go. But if when it comes out, it'll definitely, that's a day one for me. I love playing them, and I feel like my playthroughs of the game are pretty unique in that I always try to analyze them thematically, and that's always fun. That's something I enjoy doing. I need to finish P3 to P6. I mean, the games aren't sequential. You never, especially because even though they ostensibly take place in the same universe, at least according to like some of the spin-offs, the games always use different rules. I think you remember, I had this conversation with you when we were streaming Metaphor. In every Persona game, Personas represent something different. It's not consistent. It's not consistent. But I really, partly because it's not consistent, it makes it really fun to analyze. And so that's always a good time. I need them all, that's what Pokemon taught me. I will say, Persona 3 and Persona 4 are top tier games. They're both amazing. They're both amazing, and I always have a hard time deciding which is better. I'm tempted. I think I lean more towards Persona 4 over Persona 3 for a number of reasons. Related to like how they handle the characters and some of the gameplay elements. I think I lean more towards Persona 4, but I think the message of Persona 3 is much better. I think Persona 3 has a much better message and much better themes. Oh yeah, that's right, P4 remake soon. Theoretically, I think we talked about it before. I think we talked about it before. I'm really hoping they do it right. I'm really hoping they do it right, because that game deals with a lot of themes about gender and sexuality in really respectful ways. In really, I would say, Christian ways. And if the game releases with no changes from its initial release, people are going to get real mad. People are gonna get real mad because that is not an LGBT game. It's not. There are people who read that into it, but you can't justify it. That's not how it is. And I'm really scared for the game. Persona 4 and Persona 6. Because you've probably heard, I think I told you before, Ace, I do not like Persona 5's themes. I think it has terrible themes. It feels like a essentially anarchist game. And it's all about, oh, you know, just be yourself, screw adults. No. I do not like Persona 5. Oh, why is this game now? Ooh, the game's chugging. Start the revolution type stuff. Exactly. Exactly. Like, you can't even make it up. In Persona, because I did a whole, like, little series trying to analyze how the game's themes changed from Persona 3 to Persona 5. And there is a transition. There is like a marked transition that you can observe. Where it's like Persona 3, the theme of Persona 3 is don't be yourself, be better. The moral of Persona 3 is always endeavor to improve yourself and become more like Christ. Almost explicitly. Almost explicitly. Because if you get the true ending of the game, you literally become like Christ. Be better than who you were yesterday and become more and more like Christ. That's Persona 3. And then in Persona 5, the game ends with you becoming the devil. It's exact. You can't get more obtuse. You can't get more different. In Persona 3, it's don't be yourself, be like Jesus. And in Persona 5, it's be yourself and become Satan. Become like the devil. You can't get more opposite than that. You cannot get more opposite. It's crazy what a difference. It is. It is. And Persona 4, the best way to describe the themes of Persona 4, Persona 4 isn't as... Persona 4 doesn't have any... it doesn't have any Christian imagery. It's crazy what a difference. They probably did that on purpose. They definitely did it on purpose in those games, because Persona 5 is all about revolution, and so it ends with you becoming the ultimate rebel, which is Satan, which is true. And then Persona 3 is all about becoming better, changing yourself. It's literally, you've probably seen it before in Persona 3, you summon your persona by shooting yourself. And the idea is that you die to yourself. The idea is that you kill the parts of you that are holding you back, and eventually you become like Jesus. I don't know if the transition was done on purpose, because my read on it, because if you just do that read, if you just read it like I'm reading it, then the main characters of Persona 5 are villains. They're villains, if you read it in that way. But I don't think that's what the developers and writers of Persona 5 want you to take away. I don't think they want you to come away with the conclusion that the Phantom Thieves are villains. Oof ad. Okay, I'll hold on. I'll hold on. I'll restrain the rant. I'll wait for everyone to come back. Here, actually, since everyone is in an ad anyway, I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Since everyone's in an ad anyway. Okay, I'm back. We have another minute for ads. So I guess I'll just... Game's chugging now. I don't know why the game's chugging now. Hello, you two people. How are you doing? Are you enjoying the video? Be sure to put in the chat if you're like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Give me engagement, please. Please, give me engagement. Oh, okay. He's back. Alright, so I'm trying to say it'd be cool if you did a video essay on this and watch it. I did do a... I suppose I could probably... You know, that's it. You know, I'd probably... It's probably worth doing. Because I did, if you go on the YouTube, I did specifically a Persona 4 review where I talk about a lot of that, and also the themes of Persona 4. And I did a lot of shorts on it as well. But when I went into playing Persona 3, if you watch the Persona 3 playthrough, the opening thing that I say is the first thing that I say is Persona 5 is satanic. I want to know if all the games are like that, or if there's a transition, and if so, I want to know what that transition is and what it looks like. And there is. There is a transition. But if you read, this is something about Atlas and the Shin Megami Tensei franchise is that they're not pro-Christian. They usually go out of their way to bash or parody Christianity in ways that don't even really make sense, to be totally honest with you. I think you might have been there when we were playing Metaphor, and we're talking to this lady. It's like, oh yeah, the Sanctus religion, which is basically just the Catholic Church, it's all about forgiveness. And doesn't that sound like a great tool for controlling people? Like, no, it doesn't. Like, oh yeah, I remember all of the fascistic regimes that encourage their followers to forgive their enemies. Yeah, that's what fascists do. They encourage people to forgive. No, it's not a... So I don't understand their hate boner. Is Persona directed by the same guy? I don't think so. But there's definitely a team that works on all the projects. And it's also, you have to keep in mind, it's all carried over from the Shin Megami Tensei franchise. And so some of the reasons why that's so consistent in the Shin Megami Tensei games and spin-offs, like Metaphor, like Persona, is because it's from the games. And there's definitely a through line. I don't know if it's made by the same guy, but I'm guessing that the same team works on a lot of it. It's a crazy hate bias. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. It is insane. And I don't know where it comes from. Obviously, I know Japan, they have a different relationship with Christianity. And that relationship is largely biased by the people that they interacted with, like the Portuguese. I also know that there's been a history of religious violence both ways. Buddhists and Shintos versus Christianity and vice versa. And that political movements have also been religiously tied in Japan's history. So I understand there's some cultural stuff there, but still, it's like if you... There's a short about this too. It's like if you're praising the devil, you're not the good guy. I'm sorry. There's no amount of cultural bias or misunderstanding that can justify it. There isn't. But they got a crazy hate bias. Lots of cults too, yeah. They've got a crazy bias that for some reason, Persona 3 is the only Atlas game that I'm aware of that totally not only dodges that, but subverts that and actually makes Christ a figure of renown, a figure that you should desire to emulate and become. I think it's the only game that does that I'm aware of. There might be like a Shin Megami Tensei game that's like that. But as far as I can tell, all of the other games in the Shin Megami Tensei franchise are either indifferent or actively hostile to Christianity. It's so weird. I don't know where it comes from. Persona 4 doesn't touch it at all. Persona 4 doesn't touch it at all. Persona 4 is all about Japanese mythology, so it doesn't delve into Christianity at all. It doesn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, other than, of course, the angels and demons you can summon in every Shin Megami Tensei game. And so Persona 3, going over how the game's transition, Persona 3 is die to yourself, or kill the parts of yourself that are holding you back, and become more like Christ. It'd be cool in your essay, look to the dev team if they have any positive background. That is a good point. Ace, if I had money, I would hire you. You have a lot of great ideas. I'll pay you $0. So, but that's Persona 3. Persona 5 is be yourself. Rip off them, and that's what personas represent. In Persona 3, personas are the mask you use to face the world. Okay? So personas aren't who you are, it's who you're trying to become and who you present yourself outwardly as. And so the ultimate completion of the game is to become like Christ and become Christ to the world so that people see Christ when they look at you. Just pray me in prayer, please. I can do that. I can absolutely do that. I can absolutely do that. And so literally the end result of the game is personas are the mask you use to face the world. The game says that explicitly. That's what Igor says. The mask you use to face the world. And when you beat the game, the mask you put on is Christ. And so you are Christ to the world, and that's the completion of the game. In Persona 5, your persona is the exact opposite. I should be a producer because I've been getting great ideas all week. It seems like it. It seems like it. You did say you're in film. Congratulations, you've been promoted to producer. But in Persona 5, it's the exact polar opposite. Where if you remember, because you've played the game, your persona is what you unleash when you rip the mask off. It's the exact opposite. In Persona 3, your persona is a mask. And in Persona 5, your persona is what comes out when your mask is taken off. It's the exact opposite. Your persona is who you truly are. And you embody those ideals through the game, and you become yourself more and more. You rebel. You increasingly become yourself, and eventually the person you become is Satan. It's the exact opposite. Persona, don't be yourself, be Christ. Persona 5, be yourself and become a demon. There's no other way to read it. There's no other way to read it. The only thing I can say is that the Persona 5 developers were trying to pose that message, you know, be yourself and become a demon, as being a good thing. That's the only thing I can assume. Because the game definitely does not present the heroes as being villains, which you would have to. You would have to. That's crazy, I've never finished Persona 5. This is interesting because it's such a flip. It is absolute flip. Completely on its head. Completely on its head. And a lot of people don't get it, because of course, just playing through the game, you know, you're beating up bad guys, and the bad guys are bad. And so because you're beating up bad guys, a lot of people don't ever stop to think about, you know, whether the good guys are all that good. Oof, got an ad again? Oh, really? Alright, well, we'll wait. We'll wait, and then I'll talk about Persona 4. Here, if he's got an ad, then I'll just run ads for everyone. Oh, whoops. Uh-oh. Sorry, Ace. I think you might be getting put in the hole. You might get put in edge. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I need like a panic emote. I need like a panic emote. Why do I have Pokemon emotes? Sorry, I just opened up chat to look through my emotes. Why do I have so many Pokemon emotes? Sorry, I got so distracted by... I got so distracted by that, sorry. Hi, YouTube. How are you doing? Like, comment, subscribe. I feel I don't feel awkward. I hate saying stuff like that, but I feel better because no one will see this, almost certainly. Yeah, once he gets back, I'll continue my little tirade about Persona 4. Ooh, rocks. Gimme rocks. Ads should be done. I'll wait for Ace to say that he's back. I believe the ads should be through for everyone now. Good news is, once you get those ads, no more. There shouldn't be any more for 40 minutes. And I don't think I'll be streaming for much longer than 40 minutes. If I get to 40 minutes. So, we should be good. Yeah, we should be good. There should be no more ads for 40 minutes. Anyway. Yep, so that's... I'll never be the same again. Ooh, ad life. Ad life, truly dismal. But anyway, so to wrap up, Persona 4 is a bit more interesting. I guess you could say it's nuanced. That in Persona 4, so in Persona 3, your persona is your mask. In Persona 5, your persona is who you are when the mask is taken off. So it's the exact opposite. Persona 4, your persona is your shadow. So it brings in Jungian psychology, where your shadow is the part of yourself that you don't want to accept. It's the part of yourself that you're ashamed of, the part of yourself that you repress. And so the way you unlock your persona is by accepting the parts of you that you can't change. And so, however, there's also a theme of not letting that define you. And so, yeah, you know, these characters have parts of themselves that they don't want to face, and those parts of themselves are legitimately ugly. It's not played off like, oh yeah, well, you know, you're embarrassed, but you really shouldn't be. That's how some people read it. But that's not what it is. Because, you know, one of the first people who unlocks his persona, his shadow is his insecurity. Like, it's like his shadow is super jealous, super insecure. And after he unlocks his persona, he doesn't suddenly become a jealous and insecure person. He accepts the fact that it's a part of him, and he knows that it's a part of him, but he doesn't let that define him. So he accepts the fact that, yeah, you know, I'm prone to jealousy. I'm prone to insecurity. And that is a fact about me. But that fact does not define me. This is a good structure piece for the video essay, yeah. I mean, it's useful. Like, you're talking about 3 games. And so you kind of see how Persona 4, in this weird way, actually does end up being a middle ground between the two. Because Persona 3 is don't be yourself, be better. Persona 5 is be yourself. Persona 4 is be yourself, but don't use that as an excuse. It's not be yourself necessarily, it's accept yourself. Accepting yourself doesn't mean you stop working to change yourself. It doesn't mean you stop trying to be better. It just means knowing who you are and being honest about it. Knowing who you are and being honest about it. And so, like, I think I said this before. I don't want to spoil too much. Last piece of video, speculation on the theme for Persona 6. Ugh, I have no speculation. I don't want to speculate. Here, I'll say this and then I'll touch on Persona 6. There's a character in the game. I was talking about how the game touches on a lot of sexuality. There's a character in the game who is gay. I shouldn't say he is gay. He has same-sex attraction. He struggles with it. And he also is very feminine. He has very feminine parts of his personality that he runs from. He learns to accept those parts of him, to be honest about the fact that he has these feminine tendencies, and that he struggles with same-sex attraction. At the end of the game, he gets with a girl. He accepts the fact that he has same-sex attraction and he struggles with it. And it's more or less established that the reason he struggles with it is because of trauma from when he was a kid. not necessarily like abuse trauma that most people have, but still trauma. And he accepts that, but he doesn't use that as an excuse to give into it, because he still sees it as being wrong. He still sees it as being disordered. And so it's wrong and it's disordered, but it's a part of me, and it's a part of me that I'm going to have to deal with, and I can't deal with it unless I'm honest about it. It's sort of like you can't, the first step to fixing a problem is admitting that you have a problem. And you don't unlock your persona until you admit that you have the problem. And so rather than accepting yourself being a railroad into saying, I don't need to change, I don't need to work on myself, I accept myself for who I am, and I don't need to do anything. It's actually the first step to changing yourself, is accepting yourself. Which is very interesting. It's interesting. Like denying yourself and picking up your cross and following Christ. That's more Persona 3. But yes. Persona 3 embodies that more objectively, more specifically. But yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. And so it would advocate for you admit that you have the flaws, and that those flaws are a part of you, and they're never going to not be a part of you. But that doesn't mean you stop working on it. Sometimes it does. Like, for example, the character that has some feminine tendencies, part of his development is no longer being ashamed of those tendencies. Like, hey, like, I suppose it's easy enough to say, like, he likes knitting, he likes crocheting, and so he's no longer ashamed of that. He enjoys it, and he makes a little bit of a business out of it. And that's an example of the game of someone being ashamed of something that they really have no reason to be ashamed of. But at the same time, he also has the part of himself that he is ashamed of, and that he has every right to be ashamed of, that he should be ashamed of, and that's the part that he works on fixing. It's like admitting you're a sinner and work on following Christ. So deny yourself, pick up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I would say the second part of that is a bit more, it's not as clear as it is in the other games. Because there are people who, when they admit the things that they're ashamed of, they realize that they actually don't need to be ashamed of it. And so, because your shadow is just the parts of you that you repress. It's the parts of you that you are ashamed of. So sometimes you really should be ashamed of those parts, and those parts are genuinely bad. But other times, you actually don't have a reason to be ashamed of it. And if you accept those parts of you, you'll be happier. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Because there are characters whose arcs are more about, just be yourself, don't be ashamed of who you are, and then there are characters who are more change, work on your flaws. It goes both ways. Which is why I say it makes kind of a great bridge between the two games. Because Persona 3 is all about denying yourself and following Christ. Persona 5 is really all about indulging yourself and accepting who you are to the detriment of the people around you, being yourself, quote-unquote, to the detriment of the people around you and society at large. Whereas Persona 4 is more, accept who you are. For the parts of you that are wrong and the parts of you that are broken, accept that it's a part of you, but don't use that as an excuse to not work on fixing it. But there are parts of you that you are maybe ashamed of, that you're running away from, that maybe you shouldn't be ashamed of, and maybe you shouldn't be running away from. So it goes both ways. And I would say really it's more about, I can almost say, this is the way I phrased it before, Persona 4 is really, I think if you were to explain it succinctly, Persona 4 is about balancing your perception of the world and of yourself with the world as it actually is. It's about creating harmony between your mental perception of the world and the world as it is. Because Persona 4, it has the TV world, which is like a mental landscape. And the way that you repair those singularities is by bringing people's mental perceptions of the world into keeping with the world as it actually is. I think that's the most succinct way to explain it. And so for characters whose self-perceptions are... Some characters have to wake up by realizing that the way they perceive the world is not the way it actually is, and that's okay. For other characters, it's your perception of the world doesn't match the world as it is, and that's not okay. I really want to think about what the next theme would be, like where are they going to go with it next. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. The reason I'm worried specifically is because Persona 5 is the most popular game in the series by far. By far. It's not close. It's not close. I will happily admit I'm in this category. I would not... Most people, most Persona fans are only fans because of the 5th game. I will happily admit, I did not know about Persona 3 or Persona 4 until I heard about Persona 5. I was not interested in Persona 3 or Persona 4 until I saw gameplay of Persona 5. And so my fear is that they're going to double down. Because when I talk about how the games bridge into one another, I don't think that's intentional. I think it's a side effect of the changing culture. I think the reason why Persona 3 and Persona 5 are so different, and the reason why Persona 4 kind of bridges them, is because of the way our philosophies have changed in that time period. So when Persona 3 came out, it came out in a time when people were encouraged to be better. It came out kind of before all of the be yourself focus. Especially since you have to keep in mind, this isn't just Western culture, this is in Japan. This isn't just pop culture, this is Japanese pop culture, and Japanese pop culture follows American culture, but is always slightly behind. Like, the way it kind of goes is things start in Europe, then come to America, and then go to the rest of the world. That's typically how ideas spread in our modern age. And so I think when Persona 3 came out, it came out before this era of being yourself. And so it was really more about self-realization, it was about actually becoming a hero in a real sense. Then when Persona 4 came out, you know, we're talking about early 2000s, like when me and probably you as well were growing up. And we were in this kind of middle stage where it's, you should be yourself. You should be yourself and you should accept who you are, but not necessarily to the detriment of the people around you. You know, you should be yourself and you should be who you are, but right things are still right and wrong things are still wrong. And you being yourself does not negate rightness or wrongness. And then you cut to modern times, you cut to the post-2010s era, and it's, you should be yourself. Anyone who tells you not to be yourself is a villain and a criminal and a bigot. And you should absolutely be yourself, even if it hurts the people around you. even if it's detrimental to society at large. Like, if I mentioned, like, the gay character in Persona 4, if the gay character were in Persona 5, I think he would have had a dramatically different character arc. Dramatically. I don't think it would have ended the way it did. And so I get that's my read on it. I don't think the transition from Persona 3 to Persona 5 was deliberate. I think it was just a side effect of the times. I think it's a side effect of the times, and we are still in the sort of selfie era, as you put it. Now, given there's a countercultural swing going on all across the globe. You see it with, you know, Trump, obviously, but also you see it in UK with Brexit, Italy with I forget her name, Gina. It's becoming sort of a worldwide countercultural movement. But I don't know... I think it's too recent to be carried over into Persona 6. And so I don't see a reason, barring a change in writing and a change in direction, creative direction, that Persona 6 would not just be a redo of Persona 5 in terms of its themes. I think, at best, it's probably going to be a Persona 4-ish situation. Yeah, not gonna see a fast turnaround. Exactly. Exactly. Especially when all of the money is telling them to double down on Persona 5. Persona 5, which, by the way, so much embodied the doctrine of subjectivism that its DLC doesn't even have a true ending. The Persona 5 team is so sold on subjectivism that Persona 5 Royal, it doesn't have a true ending. That's how bought in they are to the themes of their game. The themes that, you know, everything is subjective, and you just gotta, you know, the only truth is in your heart, dude. The only truth is inside yourself, man. That's how bought in they are. And I don't see that changing. No real ending is wild. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. The game, Persona 5, has a real ending. But Persona 5 Royal, the DLC, does not have a true ending. Because the devs are all like, well, you know, just we'll let the player decide what's right, you know. There's no good ending or bad ending. The good ending and the bad ending are dependent on what the player wants. Which it's really not. It's really not. If you're familiar with the DLC at all, the two endings are wildly different and have wildly different implications. Maybe there's a reason why I haven't finished PS5 or P5R. Yeah. The two endings have wildly different philosophies and wildly different implications. And one is objectively better than the other. But the developers refuse to take a stance. They will not say that one ending is good and one ending is bad, or that one ending is true and the other is false, because that would also imply that one is good and one is bad in a certain way. That's how sold they are on subjectivism. So, if I were to give an actual prediction for Persona 6, excuse me. I think Persona 6 is going to be more on the lines of Persona 4. Because the thing is, even though they just need to stop it, yeah. Even though Persona 5 did so well, and it's made so much money for them, and there's no obvious reason to think they would change, the one thing I can say about the Persona team is they're not going to write the same story twice. They're not going to write the same story twice. We just call the Sega team as Sonic, yeah. You let Sonic tell them off. Let Sonic call them to repentance. They're not going to tell the same story twice. So I don't think Persona 6 is going to be as bad as Persona 5. I don't think it can be as bad, really. It's, you know, knock on wood, but it's kind of hard for me to imagine a worse ending than having your protagonist literally turn into Satan. They're not going to write the same story twice. So I think just by that measure, it's going to be better. And since Persona 3 and Persona 5 both lean heavily on Christology and Christian imagery, I think Persona 6 is probably going to be more like Persona 4 and lean on other mythologies. Oh, that is so odd. Yeah. Persona 4 doesn't use any Christian imagery. It's just purely Japanese mythology. That is what they use as a basis for all their symbolism. IDK, if I want to finish Persona 5 roll on my Steam Deck, fair. You know, if you want, like, if you want to play it just to verify everything I'm saying, like, by all means. By all means, but yeah, I do not have a... Suffice it to say, I don't have a positive opinion on Persona 5. It has great gameplay, but I think its story and its themes are morally awful. But they won't do the same game twice. So it all depends on what message, what theme they want for the next game. That's gonna depend it, and how they execute it. It's Persona 4. Its theme is kind of malleable because it's accept who you are, but don't use that as an excuse for not changing. But the game, because of that, what should or should not be changed is a very subjective. It's a very subjective principle. Because of course, you know, accept who you are, but still don't use that as an excuse for not changing what ought to be changed. You and I may have different definitions or different principles that determine what should and should not be changed. Persona 4 works because I think when you look at it, all of the things that the game says should and should not change are the things that the game says should not change are good things, or at least neutral things. And the things that the game says should change are bad things. They don't get lazy and redo Persona 5 and rebrand it as Persona 6. Yeah. But Persona 4 could have easily been a terrible game if they had told the characters to change things about themselves which were good, or not to change things about themselves which were bad. They didn't do that, but they could have. They could have, because their theme was too malleable. It was too open to interpretation. Which is why you'll have people say that Persona 4 is a leftist game when it's really not. Or an LGBT-friendly game when it's absolutely not. It is absolutely not. No one who actually 100%s the game can walk away with that interpretation. And so, just by the fact that it's different, I don't think it can be worse than Persona 5. But I think the real question is it going to be better than Persona 4? That's more the question for me. Or is it going to be as good as Persona 4? Is it going to be worse than Persona 4? That's the question. Because if you apply... Persona 4's principles only work if you have correct judgment. If you don't have correct judgment, then Persona 4's principles don't work. Which is probably the main flaw of the game. It's too open to interpretation. And so if you interpret it correctly, as Persona 4 does, then it comes out very well. But I could easily see, for example, in a Persona 4 remake, them just reinterpreting the morals of the story to affirm things that it used to deny. That's going to be the kicker. I also think, as on a less serious note, I think it'll be interesting to see what they go for the main theme of the Personas. Because in Persona 3, all of the Personas were Greek mythology. In Persona 4, all of the Personas were Japanese mythology. In Persona 5, all the Personas were literary characters. And so I wonder what they'll do. I wouldn't mind like a Knights of the Round Table. That could be fun for Personas. Indian mythology would also be probably extremely likely due to just cultural proximity. You can also see more generic European mythology, like Celtic. That's going to be fun to see, I think. Or they may just ditch the themes entirely. That'd be interesting. Jeez, that was a long tangent. Other games on my list that are like day one release games for me are Fate Extra. I will absolutely play Fate Extra the second it comes out, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I think that's it. So rebrand next Thursday. Tuesday streams will be RimWorld, but I need to think about what we're going to do specifically. Thursday streams after the debut will be Lego Star Wars. Sunday streams will continue to be Metaphor until we finish it. At some point, Expedition 33 is down the pipe. I don't know when we'll get to it, but it's in the pipeline. One Piece Fortnite is in the pipeline. Then hopefully it's better than what most AAA games. Yeah, I mean that's a low bar. That's a low bar, and it better not be $80. Ugh. I mean, to be honest, we're probably looking at $70. Almost certainly, because keep in mind it's Sega. I don't think 80, because I think Persona 3 Reload was $70. I think. Metaphor was $60, I think. But I think Persona 3 Reload was $70. So unfortunately, I think that might be a given. But I don't think they'll do another $10 increase when the last $10 increase was so controversial. But, you know, cross fingers. So Expedition 33 is in the pipeline. One or two other games that are in the pipeline. One Piece Fortnite is in the pipeline whenever it comes out. I don't remember if Persona 6 is supposed to come out this year or next year. When it does, that's like day one release. Fate Extra is supposed to come out this year, but it's been delayed so many times. We'll see if that actually happens. That's a day one release game for me. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it, but I'm also 100% open to game suggestions. Goodness, I've been talking for so long, my voice is giving out. Look what you've done, Ace. Look at what you have wrought. definitely have things planned for the future, and I definitely want to do more collabs. I've been kind of... Between schedules and other things, it's not been something I've been able to do. And also partly because everyone's just playing Repo. or they're playing games they don't have, or they're... I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't like Repo. I don't find it fun. Mario Kart World is $80 and looks so basic, dude. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some cool things, but not anything that makes me say $80, you know? Repo spam is crazy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's not that I hate the game. I don't know why I feel the way I do about it. I just don't like it. I don't find it fun. Like, there are streamers that I love, absolutely love, and I'll watch them play just about anything. And I see them playing Repo and I just tune out. I get so bored. Repo's not my kind of game, but I'll join in. Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like it would be my kind of game. Because I love, like, Lethal Company, Deep Rock Galactic. I love those kinds of games, but for some reason Repo just doesn't click with me. I find it boring. I don't even know why. I can't articulate why. You know, no accounting for preference, I suppose. Oh well. I'm definitely hoping to do more collabs. Unfortunately, like, there have been a few collabs that I've been supposed to be a part of in the last few months, but they all fell through for one reason or another. It's just not been in the cards. I get you, I'm in the same boat. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, like Night Rain. Like, yeah, that's great. I don't have Night Rain. I don't even know if my computer could run it. I guess we'll find out at some point, because like I said, Souls-likes are on my to-do list, and so whether it's Elden Ring or Sekiro or one of the earlier Dark Souls game will probably largely just determine on what's on sale and when. But it's on my list. It's something I want to do. Though maybe not Sekiro, because I think if I heard correctly, Sekiro doesn't really have any progression. You kind of just need to get good at the game, which I don't know that I will be. It is what it is, though. Yeah, Elden Ring Fortnite. Get it. I've seen gameplay of it. It seems decently fun. Like I said, Elden Ring or Souls games are generally on my list. Also heard good things about the Blueprints. I want to play that at some point. But a lot of what I buy is determined by what's on sale. Oh, you're gonna stream it tonight. That's neat. Wish you good luck, then. Since I understand you will need it. Elden Ring being what it is. It's definitely an interesting concept. I did not have it on my bingo card, that's for sure. Not have it on my bingo card. Come on. There we go. Anyway, once I wrap up this run, excuse me, beat the first boss early this morning. Ooh, that's nice. Very nice. Oh, dang it. So happy. No, that's one of the things is that, you know, if I do ever stream like Elden Ring, I know I'm going to be streaming it for ages. Because I know I'm not going to beat that game in any short amount of time. I do not have faith in myself. Ugh. Absolutely not. I want to try. I want to give it my all, but ooh. Elden Ring crash out clips. Yeah. That's going to be my whole feed for like a year. Clips of me almost beating a boss before getting my butt handed to me the last possible second. Its own kind of purgatory. I have a clip of a crash out. I don't know if you saw it. Probably not. Probably not. It's definitely funny though. I don't even know how I'll react, because there are certain types of games I've learned before that I'm not, even though I enjoy them, it's not good for streaming, because I get so locked in and so focused that I'm not talking. I'm not commentating. Let me send the crash out to you by all means. By all means. Let me see. Yes. Crash out. I'm kind of surprised by how far I've been making it in this run, considering I've basically been on autopilot. I say as I immediately lose. Oh, man. Whew. I think I need some sugar. No joke, I had like an awful headache the other day. Nothing would make it go away. And then I had a bowl of ice cream, and it went away immediately. Oh. But anyway. Good stream, good talk, good to see you, Ace. Definitely, well, get me in the loop. Oh man, I'm tired now. Get me in the loop. I might try to edit this down into something that's cohesive as an update. Still sound bad, but I can't find you on Discord. Don't worry, I know why. It's because yeah. It's because my Discord name is not my actual avatar. Oh, wait. Wait. Where am I? Here. I don't think we're friends either. Oh, here. you. Once I rebrand, I might start changing some of these things. Yeah, my Discord name is not my actual... Oh, wait, you're already a friend. To add you as a friend, but we are already. Here, there we go. Just messaged you. There we go. So that's settled. I'll try to my hand at editing this video down into something that'll serve as a proper update. But it's definitely good to be back. It's definitely good to be back, even if it's an extremely odd stream. Who knows? Maybe Nubbies and Chill will be something for the future. Something that'll come back. I think it's better than just chatting. Nubbies and Chill. Goodness. I make myself laugh. You can always record it to make it more short. Yeah. Yeah, I could. I could, but I like the casual nature of it. But yeah, you're right. I might just need to do that. Make a more succinct channel update that just goes over the basics of it. Well, this will suffice for more detailed explanations. Might just be something I need to do. This is a chill game, to be honest. Yeah, it is. It is, especially with the music. Especially with the music, it's very save the time. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you, producer Ace. I'll make sure to I'll give you a prayer raise. This stream is 2 hours, I know. I was definitely not planning to go this long. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It went long because we were having a good time. Talking about things we like talking about, there's nothing wrong with that. So it's a nice way to sort of ease back into it. Start getting those habits back. Otherwise, I guess I need to... I hate advertising myself. I'll say it again. Wrote a book, Shepherd the Sheepdog Are the Short Stories. That's on Amazon. Find it easily. It's on sale right now. It's on the market for $7.50, but it's on sale for $5. Collection of 6 short stories, so check it out if you're so inclined. Otherwise, we should be streaming Metaphor on Sunday again. I don't know what I'm going to do Tuesday. No clue. I don't want to do RimWorld yet because the rebrand is right around the corner. And so doing it... Starting a series before the rebrand and then again after feels weird. So I might just grab Wyatt and play Payday or something. We'll see. As producer, you need your Amazon page on your Twitch panel. Yeah, I do. I don't have an author page set up yet, actually. It's something that I need to do. But I also only have one book. But yeah. Also in YouTube description. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should do that. Well, I'm going to be changing up my links in the description anyway with the rebrand. Yeah, you're right. So I can also link to my drive-through RPG page where all my D&D stuff is. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes I think I just have a... when it comes to advertising myself like that, I think there's just a wall, like a mental wall. I just don't think about it, because I don't like thinking about it. Better than nothing. Yeah, it is. It is. And especially with the short stories, I have to be completely honest. Because I don't think the book is ever... I will count my lucky stars if the book ever makes back what I put into it. I don't think it will. I don't think that book will ever turn a profit. But one of my main reasons for writing it was just because it's on the page, it's done, and I can move on to other things. Because honestly, this is one of my main motivations in writing, is just if I don't write it down, it's going to keep coming back and bugging me. And so writing it down, finishing the project, it's done, I don't need to think about it ever again. Yeah, I get that. I don't like to sponsor myself. I do like to help others. Yeah. Thank you. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've got people who are the same way, who get frustrated with me because I never have... I never do what's in my own interest in that regard. But no, you're right. I should. I should. It's just I have to get used to it, because I have so many different things, and they're all like, most of them are disconnected from one another. Like I have a blog too that I'm probably not going to link to my main account, just because it gets saucy sometimes. But yeah, I've advertised my books before, so I should make more of an effort to link them. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, trying to end the stream. I don't know what I'll do next Tuesday. Maybe Payday with Wyatt, maybe something else. Or maybe I'll just do Metaphor a second time. I have no idea how much time is left in that game. I mean, it's all about writing, though. That is the hook, yeah. Yeah. No, you stream forever! Well, I mean, you're the producer. What you say goes. Stream does not end until you rebrand. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. But sir, my voice, my vocal cords, they are unpracticed. I haven't streamed in so long. They are not trained, they are breaking down. Ugh. Yeah, so I don't know what to do next Thursday. Next Tuesday. Thursday would be the rebrand. Maybe we play afterwards. Probably not. Probably not. And then from there, it should be a more usual schedule of Metaphor on Sundays, RimWorld on Tuesdays, and then for the time being, Lego Star Wars on Thursdays. Though who knows? I know that the Fortnite season ends tomorrow? Day after tomorrow? So it could be that the One Piece Battle Pass drops and all the schedule changes. We will see. We'll see. Until then, it's good to be back. Good stream. Thank you, especially Ace, for stopping by. This has been fun. This has been good. What about Beyblade Wednesday? Oh, don't get me started on Beyblade Wednesday. Do not get me started. Do not get me started. Oh, jeez. I'm tired. No, thanks for stopping by. I guess, well, the book link is on Twitter. I'll start linking it more once we rebrand. We need to let it rip. This says you. So yeah, I'll make more of an effort to link that. I'll probably put it in the description of this video on YouTube at least. I guess it's gonna be a little weird with the transition. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I don't know when I'm going to... It almost feels like a waste to make an official schedule because I know things are going to be weird. And I don't even entirely know how weird things are going to be. Things could change at the drop of a hat. I have Beyblades here at my job. 1v1 me, bro. Yeah, okay, buddy. We'll see about that. For the time being, that'll be the schedule. That'll be scheduled, and hopefully I'll see y'all next week when I am no longer myself, but someone else entirely. The whole world turns on his head. Glenn, stopping by. Catch you on the flip side.